Paul Ricard was a nightmare almost from start to finish. First of all, in Chris's stint, there was a coming together with another car which did some damage to the front of the Sky Tempesta Racing Mercedes, and instantly, therefore, the car is compromised. But then, the first round of pit stops, and bearing in mind this is a 6-hour race, there's still a long way to go, wheels are changed, fuel goes in, new driver into the car, which is Jonathan, out it goes, and then there's a problem because one of the wheels hasn't been tightened up, wheel comes off the car, and the car is stranded out on the circuit. And that's all down to the team. Things like that should not happen at this level, no question about it. And it's a mistake from the team, the drivers can't influence that. And it's strange because the team that's running the car, Group M, is an experienced team. It's just one of those things. Yes, drivers can make mistakes, mechanics can make mistakes, but it shouldn't happen. And it's strange that it is happening and that the results aren't coming because you've got good drivers, a good car, and a good team. But for some reason, it isn't all coming together. In the past, we've had the Sky Tempesta Racing drivers in a Ferrari. There are relatively few teams that operate a Ferrari at the highest level. They were with one of those top teams in the past. There are more teams that run the Mercedes AMG, and now you're seeing how important the right team really is to get those results.
I had very mixed feelings because I knew that a podium it was something that we needed. It would have been especially strong for the drivers, for the whole team. It was important for us to get like a clear result. But on the other side, I felt that was one of the worst races we have done. So I had really mixed feelings, and so I was right before the podium. I was angry. I was not happy, but then you realize that it was clearly the package was there now.
This is the biggest and best GT3 race in the world. It's got a massive grid, it's got a fantastic heritage, it is a focal point for the region, the fans are out in force, the length of the circuit, the nature of the circuit, the topography means that you can go and watch virtually all the way around it, stand on the banks, go and sit out in the woods with your beer and your freaks and watch the cars, and of course you've got the night time where the drivers go from daylight into dusk, into darkness. There's the smell of the barbecues, there's the headlights, then you've got the concerts in the evening, you've got firework displays, there's all the off-track atmosphere as well. For the drivers and the teams, they've got one focus, that's the race, but for everybody else, there's more than just a motor race going on. This is almost like a festival.
Just coming to Spa and driving anything is really good fun. It's such an amazing circuit. Even night practice last night, I've been racing for over 20 odd years and it's one of the biggest buzzes. I got out and everyone was laughing at this massive smile I had on my face. It's one of the times when we think, wow, we're really lucky to be doing what we're doing.
It's an extremely competitive year in the Gold Cup class, and we're always looking out for the rival cars, and it's been a similar kind of bunch of cars at the front in the last few years, like the Sky Tempesta Racing team, us in the Lamborghini, and then we've got a couple of other Porsches and Ferraris who are up there as well, like in the Herberth Porsche. So it's good fun and a lot of rivalries that go back just more than just this year.
The category is very strong this year, like a lot of big names, good driver sparing. So it's definitely going to be a big challenge. It is the biggest race of the year and it's probably the one that counts the most as well for the championship because you score 3 times.
Spa's a massively important race also because of the way it constitutes its round of the championship. It's a 24-hour race, but there are points awarded for where you are in the order at 6 hours and again at 12 hours of the race. So the teams quite often will play that strategy to perhaps put their faster drivers in rotation for the first 12 hours of the race to keep the car up the order, to try and score as many points as possible. And then maybe in The third quarter, use the slower driver, get his drive time out of the way, and then keep your fast drivers for the end to try and bring the car back into the mix for good points at the end of 24 hours. And the other thing is, although we call this an endurance race, it's basically flat out for 24 hours these days. This is the longest sprint race in the world. It's all changed this weekend. Sky Tempesta Racing, still Mercedes drivers, but the car now is being operated by a different team. Hubert Haupt's team, Haupt Racing Team, has been for the last 2 or 3 seasons one of the top Mercedes outfits, and the decision has been made to go to that team for the Spa 24 hours, and in a way it will prove to everybody whether it's the drivers that aren't delivering or whether it's been the previous teams. On both sides now, the driver's side and the team side, there's no excuse.
So there's been a change this race to our technical partner, and that really is a reflection of trying to get a fresh start, I suppose.
It's just that it's such a difficult race already as it is, even if you are in the best team ever and you've been together for so long, that so many things can go wrong. So we just thought for this race to take away more, let's say, question marks out of the way and just focus on ourselves, because we need to get better at driving this car, and so this was why. And we have 3 sister cars in this team, and if there's a problem we can see and try to resolve it.
Now we've arrived at the weekend, you have very little practice before the actual race, and I have to say they've done a very good job with pre-event briefings, the build-up to the race, and actually integrating us into the team in the short time that we've had. So I've been pretty happy with that.
The approach was, the mentality was, now we have a chance, the car, the team, give us a chance to be on top again.
Over the curbs is so much better than the other one. Like it just feels more compliant.
It feels very soft, very smooth. So a little bit lazy in the, for example, in the change of directions.
Honestly, overall, I like it. I didn't drive it when the tires at temperature. Every time I did 1 lap and then I start the next one, then or traffic, then red flag again. And I sit for 10 minutes, I go out again and start a lap. I don't have like temperature in the tire to feel the real balance. But I mean, overall, I really like the way it handles curbs. I really like the engine. Like it feels so much safer on the rear and very nice like progression. Yeah. The whole thing, it feels more like a clean racing car.
Another key difference for the Total Energies 24 Hours of Spa, when you talk about the Gold Cup or the Silver Cup or the Pro-Am cars, is that they're allowed 4 drivers. And there are lots of reasons for that, and it's partly to help the teams by having another driver that can bring a bit of budget. It's also to limit the drive time so that you don't have some of those less experienced drivers becoming overly tired. And if there's anybody that can get that car further up the order with some demon fast laps, it's Loris Spinelli.
Hello everyone, I'm Loris Spinelli, and I think I am a fast driver.
How can you not like him? He's just a pure race car driver that has only one goal, just drive the car on this limit.
And he has been, both in Europe and North America, one of the stars of the Lamborghini Super Trofeo. He is a hugely quick driver, rarely makes mistakes, but of course he doesn't know the Haupt Racing Team, and he doesn't know Eddie, nor Jonathan, nor Chris. So they've all got to gel, they've all got to get together. But in the car, there's going to be no question about his ability, and he's going to be very, very fast indeed.
We have a new teammate that we really like, is very, very fast, and we trust because he knows the car a lot better than we do.
I'm not a person that feel the pressure during the race week. I like a lot to work during the race and work with person with more experience with me, especially this week. That is my, let me say, first week with a really strong team. I'm trying to learn as much as possible.
I'm happy to have him on board. We followed his direction for changing setup before the race, so very confident. Whatever he said, for now it's been helpful, and the cars perform better on track. So
even I imagine for Eddie, when you've got the three of us essentially without any experience in the car, trying to relay that back to an engineer in the team can be difficult, not just from the perspective of, yes, okay, we know what we're feeling, but I think also from the engineer's perspective, talking to three guys that don't know anything about the car in terms of the behavior, how it should be, I think it's sometimes difficult for that engineer to trust in what we're saying and actually make changes to the car in the way that we want, as opposed to having his own baseline and going with what that is. So that's definitely been a challenge this year. I mean, for sure, adding Loris to our lineup this race has been really great for that, because he's been able to be that sort of, let's say, communication between engineer and driver, and sort of validating what we might say, and also communicating that to the engineer with all the experience he has in this car. So he's definitely going to help us with the last steps of adapting to this platform and how it really should feel. You know, we can't expect a lap in this car to feel the same as the lap in the Ferrari last year. You know, they've got to feel different. Perhaps the time will be very similar, but the way you get there will be different, and we can't be chasing something that we've experienced before with a completely different platform. So yeah, I mean, Loris has been very helpful in that step, and it's good to have someone as experienced and quick as him in the car to give that feedback.
Switch John, put John in the car for pre-quali. So anyway, Chris will start with new tires for you. Now you need to know if for you need the feedback. I will change the setup for sure to improve the understeer.
I'm Nicolas Drouel, race engineer of the car 93 Sky Tempesta Racing. I just take all the decisions during the race to set up the car and organize everything with the mechanics.
Voi che la sentite o no per la qualifica fa la differenza, ma quanto ci serve a una qualifica stare nei primi 20 o nei primi 30? Quanto è più importante che Chris è gasato e guida bene più che altro? John ci abbiamo messo già al lavoro ieri, ha fatto un lavoro da Madonna, quindi John andrà bene. Invece Chris dobbiamo metterlo nella confidenza. È importante secondo me, fa più importanza questo per la gara che ovviamente per la qualifica è diverso. Qualifica è un altro discorso, è meglio che voi sentiste la gomma nuova adesso. Però Chris se poi non la sente, non ha le condizioni per giustamente per sentirla e trovarsi bene, anche lui per lui è un cambio di team, un cambio di macchine e tutto. Secondo me è più importante che Chris guida la gomma nuova, questa è la mia opinione.
Ma perché le qualifiche non contano un cazzo?
Perché le qualifiche non contano un cazzo, lo so che vogliamo andare forte, però secondo me tu, se la macchina è a posto, andate forte direttamente.
There is definitely a shift in what I feel like my contribution in terms of feedback can be. Because I would say in the Ferrari after, you know, especially from last year, I think I started becoming very, very familiar with the car and had a decent pace as a silver and really felt comfortable to help with the engineering side of the car. This is completely new. I mean, for me, I don't have an ego, you know, in the sense of I don't mind that I am not where I was in the Ferrari yet, because I think it's realistic to expect not to be where you are, otherwise everyone would be jumping around manufacturers and being at the same sort of pace, and you'd see people doing it all the time. You know, you see a lot of the best drivers very consistently staying with the same manufacturer. So I do expect there to be a lot of work, and I expect it to be relatively tough to adapt.
Se invece vedo che sono abbastanza allineato con i freni, io non ho problemi, però se vedo che il freno sto frenando 50 metri troppo tardi perché voglio strafare e male, allora ti chiedo di farmi guidare a me perché mi serve. Se invece il freno, il picco e tutto va bene, dove sono stato libero va bene, preferisco che guidi te. Però se vediamo, te lo dico, già non l'ho vista la telemetria, se vediamo che la frenata è una merda, che mi devo riabituare perché completamente è diverso, ti chiedo di farmi guidare a me, ma perché mi serve.
Vabbè, l'importante è mettere a posto la macchina, perché così
sai che
non è bella.
Così è proprio lazy.
One of the things we kind of both agree that the limiting factor is the understeer.
Yes.
Okay, so especially, you know, for sure understeer is gonna get worse in quali. I mean, because it's pushing you. Sharing the car with four drivers with such limited time before the race, and then you have so much time in the race because it's a 24-hour race. Everybody wants to drive a little bit more, everybody wants to do that and change this.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I mean, they were certainly going well in the Ferrari and obviously had some good results. But the Mercedes is a proven race-winning car as well, and it's one that seems to be very consistent throughout the whole year and through all the tracks.
It's definitely not easy as a driver to adapt. Like anything though, you know, trying to extract that last bit of performance out of it is never easy.
Obviously, you want to be as good as your opponents. I mean, the ones in my category, but that sometimes is just almost impossible because it's like when I was with a Ferrari at the end of it, I could literally close my eyes and touch every button inside the car, and this one is like when they ask me to do something, it's like, okay, where is it?
You know, whenever you drive a different car and you have to learn how to work with a different team, I think it's kind of normal that you have that time where you're not as comfortable as you were before in the car. You know, even small things like just knowing where everything is in the car. When you've driven a car for 2-3 years, you almost don't need to look. You know where to press the buttons. When it's something new, you know, it takes a little bit more time to find everything out. So
He's still super focused on his target, and his target is to be as quick as he was with the Ferrari, with the Mercedes. So he's definitely just 100% focused on his just getting connected with the car as soon as possible, because for a pro driver, that's what you want. You want to get quick in the shortest time, and of course it's not easy because it's a completely new car, a different driving style, and it requires a quality focus every time he drives the car, and everything is happening while we have all this expectation about the result. So it's not easy, it's very difficult to perform with all these expectations. So I think we are still, and I feel that Eddie, when we talk about it, and is still on that target. He's looking there, and he wanna get there as quick as possible. Until he doesn't get there, I don't think he's even judging him. He's just looking there, and then we are all actually supporting. I'm supporting him, everyone, and it's around him to do it, because when the pro is there, it's helping everyone.
I don't think it's the wrong choice. I think if the Sky Tempesta team changed, I mean, it was good to change. I mean, to change and try something new. Obviously, from my side, I mean, I did get a big hit because I am not an official driver, so knowing a car like Ferrari for 4 or 5 years and then switching and not testing like a professional driver should do, I think I have a very big task, and it's not so easy. I mean, you see everybody driving, I don't know, 30 races a year, and I just pop up during these races. It's very difficult, and hopefully this race I get to drive quite a bit, and for sure it's going to help you and for the rest of the championship.
I mean, it's not easy to let frustration not get to you, and I've experienced that quite a lot this season, but as has the whole team. So, I mean, it is heartbreaking at times, but then we also have to realize that we've had 3-4 years of great success, and even if you look at any sport, or let's say motorsport in Formula One, you have legendary teams like Ferrari, or even Williams or McLaren, who've all gone through very difficult phases. So this is part of sport, this is part of life. And if you think that you'll always be a winner, then I think you're just misguided. So I've always believed that you learn the most when you're down or when you make mistakes, and then you become stronger, and then it'll be sweeter when you're up on the rise again.
We needed to give things a chance. We couldn't just have 2 bad results and be like, okay, something needs to change. You know, there's all sorts of reasons this year why we've had negative results. It's not one thing, and it's identifying all those things and seeing, can we make the right changes to those individual aspects? What is out of our control? You know, many reasons we've had bad results have been things out of our control, out of the technical partner's control, out of the driver's control, so we can't do anything about that. Then identifying what can we really change that is within our control. And of course I feel a responsibility to do that as quick as possible, to make sure that Eddie and John are happy and remain confident, because we ended last year on such a high note, and you know, we'd become this well-oiled machine, and of course we want to get there as quick as possible. But you know, we have to be realistic that even when we started our campaign in the Endurance Championship in 2019, we weren't immediately there.
In the first bronze test session, it went really well. I felt immediately comfortable in the car, was able to push, and my lap time was already quicker than I've ever done here before. So it goes to show that when a car is properly prepared and you've got the right people around you, and I have the confidence, you need the confidence here to perform.
You don't like?
No,
Okay.
because a lot of instability in entry, so the rear moves.
Okay.
But when you get to mid corner and exit, power, you still understeer.
Okay.
So that part is the same. I feel not any better.
Okay.
But this is definitely worse.
I'm a bit sad for John, but you know now the balance between
I think it was important to have his feedback. I think it's important also he felt the car with the change. He understands it. He's being part of also the development, right? I think he likes that. I mean, it's important that you also experience that.
Yeah, you know me, yeah? I want to every time to get the best.
But you're also like fine-tuning.
Fine-tuning, yeah.
And he's so precise in the drive, so his feedbacks are
good.
Yeah.
This year, with the introduction of gravel traps pretty much everywhere, you have cars going off the circuit, and then you have the red flag scenarios. The tires all cool down, and then it takes another 2 or 3 laps to warm them up again, and then you have another red flag scenario. So the issue we had was that when the other drivers, Loris, Eddie, and Chris, had time in the car, it was very difficult for them to get a true reading of what the car's feeling was like, because of all these stopping and starting scenarios. So I was lucky enough to spend almost 2.5 hours in the car during the bronze test. So I feel that I had a very strong grasp of how the car should be and how the car should be quick for this particular weekend. So in that context, more than usual, I gave additional feedback on how I felt the car should be to be quick.
The circuits had to be reconfigured a little to allow for motorbike racing, and that means there are lots of gravel traps now on the outside of the road. So whereas in the past you were able to run wide, use that run-off tarmac put down for Formula 1, now for motorbikes there's a gravel trap. Now that gets round the track limit problem, because people can't afford to go wide into the gravel, but if you do go wide, if you do go off, you're either stuck in the gravel, or if you're lucky to come out the other side, you bring all of this rubbish onto the circuit. Punctures could be a problem. Spinning off yourself could be a problem as you ride over that gravel. The onus this year really is on the drivers. Massive concentration not to make mistakes. Keep between the track limits and avoid that gravel.
So you think you need to go in this way? A bit more?
Yeah, we can go in this way.
Yeah.
First, for me, we have a lot of traction. We have a lot real stable.
Real stability?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I cannot rotate the car.
Yeah.
And even when I go on the throttle, the traction is good, so maybe we can go with less.
During the year, I think I never had a really, good chance to receive a call. Loris, you have to come to GT World Challenge and drive for this team. I had, but not in a pro car. Sometimes gentlemen, you know how it's going. You have just to adapt for the setup. You cannot have a sharp car or aggressive car or pro driver needed. So let me say that this week is the first time that I have a really good chance to work with a really strong team.
A pro driver wants a car to be a little bit more on the edge, because the edge means faster. It's also my job, since I know Chris and John better, to have a car. They drive anything because they're really talented and they want to go fast. So I mean, they don't want a lazy car and everything, but they also have to be safe when it's a 24-hour race. So consistency is better than being super fast.
The last time they deleted.
The one before, not this one. Yeah?
They deleted two, 20-0 and 19. Track limit, tutto, è tutto.
Okay, turns is good job. P12, 9/10, second flag. Please slow down to save a few. Slow down to save a few. It's not possible, there is no track limit. Yeah.
He did.
He did?
Yeah. For just
I told him 2 times.
easy flat corner with 2 seconds. It was amazing, 9/10 from P1. We have a good news and a bad news.
You were P12 overall.
P12 overall, 19.0, but track limits in Imola.
So your best lap, 20.9.
So 2 seconds off. They got cancelled, the 20, the 19.2, and the 19.0. How was the car, John?
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. Not much of a steer with the new car.
It was balanced. Good. Car is good.
So in terms of qualifying, it was a disappointing outcome, mainly because I actually did do a competitive time, but because of the very strict rules on track limits this year, to the point that I didn't even realize that I've overstepped the mark, because I maybe left things a little bit marginal, but at no point did I think that I went beyond the track limit. So the net result of that is all my fast laps were cancelled, and our average time was slowed down by more than 1.8 seconds.
As soon as you go more than the flat curve, track limit, even in turn 9, you have to touch always the curve.
Now I was pushing more, but the tire was already gone.
Was already gone, yeah.
So
Tutte le qualifiche gli era qualcuno, sempre.
For the traffic on track, I think you're able to do 18, 8, 7.
That's frustrating because again, this phase we had John, okay, of course, with these track limits, and also it was our fault for not communicating, and it's 2 second gap there. But even with you, with him in 19-0, with you, it would have made the difference, you know, to also find a decent lap. So this, I'm just discussing for the next races, because I see the potential here to be top 3 again. And that's what I mean, to be top 3 again, we need to be on spot on every detail. But the drive now was good, just again the traffic. That's it.
In addition to that, we also received a penalty from free practice when there was a yellow flag situation where we didn't slow quick enough in time, and that gave us another 5-place grid penalty from the overall classification. And therefore, our starting position, we could have achieved a top 3. Instead, now we're starting from P9 in the Gold Cup.
This isn't like a normal 3-hour endurance round where it's really quite straightforward. 1 hour, pit stop, 1 hour, pit stop, 1 hour, checkered flag. Here, again, you can do so much more with the strategy. Now, quite often the teams will put a driver in for a single stint to begin with. Just let them get the feel of the car and the circuit and get used to the race and how the race itself feels. But then you can start to do more things. Now, do you double stint drivers? The pros might often triple stint if they can. 65 minutes is a stint, pit in line to pit out. 65 minutes behind the wheel, then you have to pit and do another stint. Now, double stinting, triple stinting partly depends on how the driver is feeling. You could also do different things with the tyres. Do you save a bit of time in the pits and keep that set of tyres on? There's also a 5-minute technical pit stop that everybody has to make after the halfway point. How do you play with that as well? So there are all these things that the teams have to look for. So there's a lot more to this race than other endurance rounds where it's quite formulaic almost, certainly for the 3-hour races. Here you can do so much more, and the least amount of time you spend in the pits is absolutely instrumental into your result, and you'll find the fewest number of pit stops and the least time in the pits is normally the race winner.
Driver starter, we put Loris to start, and after Eddie, so the goal is to catch maybe the leader and to gain some place regarding the Gold Cup category. So doing 2 stints, so for sure we want to be in the same pace. I don't know. Now, I don't know which driver will start the race, so we'll see.
It's a very different kind of race, this, and how you use those drivers, how you play to their strengths. You've also got the night time to factor in. Some drivers are more comfortable in the dark than others. So the team will now have to work out who is the fastest, who is the weakest, when to use them, and how also to make sure you're using those drivers to their maximum without breaching the regulations, which has a minimum drive time for everybody and a maximum drive time for everybody over the course of the 24 hours. So all the way through this, the team has to think on its feet a little bit, but also monitor how much time people are spending in the car so they're not in breach of those regulations.
So jumps, regarding the regulation, you have to do minimum 1 hour during the first 6. So you jump after Eddie and Chris. So we start only 4 simple stints, I think. Every time I do this like this, it's more maybe even for you not to stress. I mean too early during the first part of the race. This one just to have a quick view of the race, of the stint. The timing. You are jumping the car like this. You can adapt maybe your break time. You have time to sleep, to go at the hotel or not, to take a shower. So just to be clear.
Last year we lost the race because of this, because of the track limits. Because of we were not reacting quick enough to our mistakes.
And this year will be even worse.
And this year going to be even worse, 100%. So that's why I want to avoid 110% to be in the same place of last year, because I believe that with the performance of everyone is there to be competitive, right? So every penalty, no. Okay, we can do a mistake, but we should be quick to react and to understand where we did it and why. So that's the main priority for me during the race.
Okay, Lois, so you can put some energy on the tires. You can put some energy on tire by waving, so on braking 2-2, side by side, and have fun, no risk in the first few laps, have fun.
It's okay for now. We're P2, you did a great job.
I tell him, that's off,
Yeah. Tell him also we are P2, there's no more that we need now. For your speed, it's okay. Io lo so che tu puoi stare dentro, devi stare dentro, punto. Hai fatto il lavoro della Madonna, hai dato una posizione adesso che è tutto più facile, però dal prossimo...
So he was just trying to get the lead as quick as possible, because when you have the lead, you have another momentum through the race. And you know, when you are like really on the limit and overtaking so many cars, a contact might happen.
Okay, so car in front is for position, leader Gold Cup for position. Good job, buddy, good job. So no track limit, please. No track limit, so safe between the two line, no track limit. Probably we pit this lap, huh? Probably we pit under full course yellow.
I hit the Porsche.
Chris. Yeah, so don't touch the car, so maybe the steering is not very straight, but for me it makes no sense to stop. You have to keep going. This car is maybe it's drivable. For him it's drivable. You have losing some grip sometimes in the first part of Eau Rouge, in Stavlo, but other corner the car is okay. And please, I'm sure it's only 3 hours. It's only 3 hours. Even if it's 1 second off, no mistake, no track limit, we are easy.
I don't think it was better at all. We were fucking, overtaking everyone. From P9 to P5. Good job, that's it.
I think the floor is touching more. Because it's becoming undrivable, it's becoming undrivable.
One more lap, please. We need to check something, but stay out one more lap. So something wrong, we have to put the car in.
No, it's not the brake, it's the floor! It's the floor!
Copy, we box to check the floor.
The first 6 hours destroyed the result of the race because we had to stay 8 minutes in the garage just to repair the car. Seeing the car just standing in the garage was a, I wouldn't say shock, but was like very, very hard to digest. But it was early in the race, so like my thought, my approach, and it was for sure to just keep pushing. But honestly, after that, I was thinking, difficult to get top 7, top 8. Alla fine andai forte.
So just follow the car in front, no overtaking, follow the car, and maybe stop on the finish line. So red flag, red flag.
Yeah, I mean, we are
three laps done because we have to repair the front end and the splitter. We're able to recover 1 lap, and after we lose the splitter. There is too much damage on the car in the first part of the race. But the race is not done.
Chris, do you think it's not a good idea to have John out there in the dark?
I'm not doing anything.
You have to, you know that you have to continue.
I know, start the race, I know. It's
But,
okay in a safety car and everyone's there's lots of light. But when you're alone, it's very difficult.
He got also hit by here, so that's when he got hit by number 4. Huh?
Yeah. There's not even one corner what's not damaged on that car.
No, yeah, we
Fucking
should.
Even the fucking wing is broken.
Even the wing,
Yeah.
the rear wing.
The wing plate, yes. Wing plate is broken.
Fuck. We got hit and we hit 3 times and we got hit once.
But going straight over as well, the bumps.
And also one time, yeah.
A few times, we went straight over.
No, they went
on the onboard.
One time. So you mean now we risk again to lose it? Then there is a chance.
In my opinion, I don't think it will last the last 14 hours.
Still up. By the time we
Quite a lot.
restart, you probably have 13 hours.
I don't think
Yeah, you can check it maybe. Check the front end.
Okay, 30 seconds, Chris, to restart. 30 seconds.
Copy.
Okay, green flag, so restart of the race, restart of the race.
gravel. I almost crashed into a car because he crashed and his lights were off. I don't know if you saw the onboard. So my first lap out with the new tyres.
So you wouldn't
I almost
suggest
went straight into it.
So you wouldn't
Because I
suggest
couldn't
him
see.
to go in the dark, 100%.
No.
The race was stopped for 45 minutes, okay? But not the clock. So who is gonna drive less? Who is gonna be the one relieved from those 4 or 5 minutes? We need to give you clear stints, but that is not always possible.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. So we really need, because here your pace when you're confident, man, it's like, so we really need to avoid those other moments. I know,
After having one incident.
but we have to look again on board. We have to see how we can go, how we can do, because if we pick those moments, man. It's about energy management, okay? So don't target at 20-0 and 19, target at 21-0, 21-0, 21-0, 21-0, okay? Please do that. So we do not do track limits and we do not do any mistake. 21, and also you need to manage your energy now.
Full Costello now.
I don't know if you saw it on the live stream.
Yeah, we saw on the live. Yeah, we saw on the live. Okay, Chris. So we box this lap for driver change, full service. Driver change with John. Box.
You have to do a drive-through on the green flag, and after you have to do another pit stop. That means you lose minimum 1 lap and a half. So for me, it's you will be
P3. This is the last one. Enjoy your stint. Keep calm.
Now we have Chris 1 hour, then Loris, and then Eddie.
I'm already practicing from before.
So you want to change? You want to change now? Now or?
Because only Chris wins me, so you want to jump in now or for the last 20 minutes?
No, let's do it now and then maybe I know it.
You're not very far from his pace before. Actually it was the same pace. So if you keep the same pace, we stay in front. No, da come stavi andando non facevano il tempo. Da come stavi andando non facevano il tempo perché si prendevano 2 secondi al giro. Però c'avevi abbastanza distacco da non essere richiappato.
No. And now we are fighting with the McLaren for P3.
Puncture, boxing now.
Full stop, full one, full. Quick. Stay. So you stay. We finish like this, yeah, for sure. To the end, but not, maybe not on the podium. Full pit stop. Okay, Chris, so we are now P3, so there is 9 laps to go.
9 laps, so keep going. I will update with the car just behind, with the McLaren just behind. Just stay focused in front. Now it's 9 seconds and 2 laps. Chris, so keep your place. This is the final lap. We are P3. Yes, good one. We finish P3 Gold Cup. Sorry, nice job, Chris. Nice job. Amazing.
Chris, he would overtake me. Honestly, best head that you ever had, really.